becoming a administrative officer. But like, how was it? Was it tough? Have you faced any hurdles or it was smooth?
So I'm sure everybody says that they've had a bit of troubles or hurdles that one overcome passes to achieve success. For me, growing up in Hyderabad, I always felt that women were not given a fair deal. I think it's still a process. We're still in the midst of that journey. We've not really achieved equal empowerment the way we would like to. So I think I wanted to join administration to sort of offer that kind of platform to say, take women seriously too. So that's how this journey had begun. So of course it was through studies. So you study, you work hard. A lot of times you feel underconfident, you question yourself, you question your journey. Especially since the world and society are saying that since you're a woman you can't do it. Since you're a woman you get emotional. Since you're a woman you feel weak, you feel insecure. So I just wanted to be an example for others to say no, I can do it. When I was born, in the family, questions were asked about, oh no, it's another girl child. And thanks to my father, he said that even if it's a girl child, it will be somebody like Indira Gandhi. It will be a leader like Indira Gandhi. And I think he always brought us up. I have a younger sister too, so we were constantly asked, is it only girls? Are there no boys in the family? They kept asking my family, my parents, how, who will take care of you because it's just two girls with you. So I think somewhere we were very conscious of this. We wanted to really go out of our way and prove our merit. More importantly, prove our courage to say that there is nothing wrong in being a girl child.
Okay, so as you said that you are from Hyderabad and you got posted in Assam, have you ever struggled in communicating with people? Like here the local language is different, right?
So language is never a barrier. Barrier is conceptions, barrier is misconceptions. If I've already resolved not to take you seriously, your question seriously, I'm not going to pay attention to you or I'm not going to respect your question. So that's what happens. So oftentimes you feel that the person sitting opposite is not taking the chair seriously or taking you seriously because you're a woman. So his vision is clouded first that you're a woman. And that's a part and parcel of our jobs. And it's fun to break these myths. It's fun to break these and say it doesn't matter, we're still good at our job. So language is never a barrier, but I think even as society we are still learning to work with women, even in corporate spaces, even in government spaces. So it's a slow process, but I must say that Assam in that sense has really been very welcoming and it's really opened itself to us.
Being a women administrator, have you ever faced any kind of discrimination? Like in any sort of...
It happens, one would like to say that it doesn't, but it does happen. But again, credit to leadership above that they've given us important positions like these to also prove our merit. They've not given us so-called soft postings thinking that we won't be able to handle. My first district was Hailakandi, which was, I was the first lady DC there. It was considered a tough district, but I was given it and I think I would like to think that I did justice to that job. So leadership in that sense has also been open-minded. They've been giving us these opportunities. At work, it does happen. I don't want to mention any specific incident because it does happen on a daily basis. I would still say that I have the privilege of being an IAS officer or the privilege of being a deputy commissioner. So it's still less. I'm sure my officers who are ladies who are at junior positions, they get more in the field too. But together by setting an example of yes we can, and that's been the constant pursuit. It's like I said, it's been a lifetime of ambition of trying to push the girl child ahead. So even today there was a Child Protection Day and we were trying to push girl children suffering through sex trafficking or otherwise to say that your courage is your only asset and everything else is secondary. And courage can be faked and fake it till you make it.
Have you ever faced any additional pressure being in a position like this or being a woman?
Pressure is there. Pressure being a deputy commissioner is there. Then the pressure of being a woman is also there. So the pressure of being a woman officer is double of it, because you're also trying to prove that you are no less, that you can be thrown any challenge and you will not take a step back and you'll not hesitate to go for the kill. So being compared to various other officers is a common habit. As a lady officer, one tends to think, you're going to take up only social subjects or some subjects that are soft. But then we've also been at the borders, we've also fought, we've also taken bullets. So it is there, but I think, like my mom didn't have that much freedom that I do. And I'm sure, the future generations have much more freedom than what we did. So it is improving, which is an excellent chance. So taking this as a platform, I'd like to speak to other girl children also to step out and to specifically mention that, as women, of course, there's also one, physical strength is considered such a big indicator of strength or a leadership skill. But, it's alright if you're feeling weak on some days, it's alright if you're feeling like you want to take a break. It's alright if you want to cry also, it's alright if you're too angry with the system. Each day, every dog counts, and together we move ahead as a fraternity. And I would like to also add that sisterhood is very important. We as women need to keep pushing each other ahead and pulling some when the time feels low or when the time is wrong. And that happens through conversations like these. I'm sure I used to grow up with interviews thinking, how are some people doing it? I used to dream of wearing cotton sarees like Indira Gandhi. I used to dream of sitting a certain way, talking a certain way. And then it used to really empower me to hear some people's struggles. Jane Goodall, who works in chimpanzee sector in Africa. And she famously has quoted saying that it's very easy being an angry woman, that is why there are so many of us. So she's also called a tough woman, she's also called an unreasonable woman. So when I used to hear such interviews and how she also had to face discrimination in a field that was earlier considered a male bastion, and then she's today truly been the symbol of success. Her contributions run worldwide. So when such people speak of their weaknesses, their problems and how they've overcome it, it really adds strength to our journey too. So I think, I hope through these conversations I'm reaching out to some girl child who's feeling that perhaps she cannot do something because the society has called her a girl child, or somebody in the family said, "Ay, tu to ladki hai, tu kya kar sakti hai?" Or, "Oh, you have to anyways get married, so why flying too high?" No, you are going to be truly empowered when you're going to be financially independent. That could be in any job you choose. But my simple request, like an elder sister, is get financially independent, then make choices of marriage and family and everything else. That is where empowerment lies, when you're not succumbing to some pressure because you have to, because you have options to walk out to.
Ma'am, we have seen you tackling some serious issues like the border issues with Mizoram. You went to deep forest in there. Tell us about your experience, please.
Sati is uncomfortable in those terrains. Other than that, I think being in a leadership position, it helps to push my agenda of focus on the girl child. So in those situations, they were equally tough for everybody, like men and women on the field. But it's your duty, and if you can take your duty seriously and you understand that there is no negotiation about it, you can move forward. So some women also feel afraid. I get that, and I totally support it too. But there is victory, after you encounter your fears, your worst fears. For me, courage in the battlefield was never an issue. That somehow came easily, because perhaps I was always a rebel student, so I was always ready for a fight. But there are times when I do feel afraid, when I do feel overwhelmed, which a lot of girls do. Which is also why I want to talk about mental health too. Women tend to feel more sad. My mom feels sad more often than, say, my dad, on a very natural way. Somewhere we do have a chemical mixture that once in a month does pick up and does drop. So those women, I want to say that you are much more than just a chemically low day, or you're much more than a day where you feel you're very weak, or you're very afraid of everything, afraid of strangers, afraid of talking to people. It's all right, but slowly, if you pursue through it and try and face your demons and overcome it, the journey is very beautiful and the results are fantastic. And I must say, I was just discussing it with my sister today, that you have a vision of a woman that you want to become, and I'm so grateful that I think through this journey I've become the woman I wanted to always be. And I was never this, I was not born this way. It's been a journey. You pick up some steps, you falter some steps, you lose out on some things, you win some things. But the journey of self-development to become better, to do better, and to really become the leader that you always envision to be, it's a very fruitful journey. So I'm not saying everybody should become IAS. What I'm saying is in your each individual paths, if you can discover the leader within you and you can try and inspire a few more, that's the kind of woman I'd like to salute.
Ma'am, you were concerned about women's health. Under your guidance, several initiatives were taken to improve health of women in Cachar and Hyderabad. Would you like to give any message to women about how to live a healthier and better life?
So this is one of the things that I'm very passionate about. We don't talk enough about menstrual hygiene, and also about how it does affect women. It does lead to anemia, it affects their health, well-being, and once you feel weak physically, it doesn't take much time to feel weak mentally. So for me, again, I've always been pushing sports to especially younger children in LP schools or middle schools, that they don't need to play just house just because they're girls. I think they need to be pushed into sports. Physical strength aids mental strength, and mental strength aids physical strength. So it's a beautiful marriage between the two, physical and mental. So please pursue more sports, pursue exercise. We need to really tell our mothers, who don't take their health seriously, that they don't need to just keep doing the housework and then just wait for the family to shine. They need to take care of their health, and that is through sport. That could just be walking as well, jogging as well. We don't talk enough in our families, in our society. In India, our mothers don't exercise enough. I really want to bring the discussion to that also. I want girls to take up football. I want young kids to really take sport, which would really help enhance physical strength, and through that you bring a lot of lessons in the field. Sports is a big teacher too, so you learn courage, you learn taking risks, you learn fighting against odds, you learn winning against all odds, and you also learn to take losses and how to handle it only through sports.
Ma'am, what makes a woman administrator different from male administrators?
I think women work through procedures and also through them being a woman. So as a woman, I understand the emotional turmoil that perhaps my subordinate or my junior officer is going through. So sometimes because I understand it, I take a step back from the pressure of work. So he or she gets a break, he or she, I understand, need an off day. And as women administrators, I think we are greater team players than male administrators, because we are used to, your mothers are used to taking both her married family and her parents along, making everybody happy, taking care of her in-laws, her parents. So as women, we're used to taking the family along, taking the team along, and that I think is a big indicator in a lady administrator, that she really reaches out beyond work. I've seen this in me, I've seen this of course in my other officers who are also women themselves. There's a special relationship you develop because as a woman you understand more, you read more, you also empathize more.
Ma'am, what would you suggest the young girls regarding selecting career options?
2022 we are meeting. These are not the same days as say 94 or as say 2004. There's so much that has changed, and today there are so many opportunities. So I'd like students to dabble in various things until they find what is the thing they want. Our education system of course forces us to choose science or humanities in class 11 and then stick to it. But I think 2022 has really proven in that sense. You have Instagram handlers, you have hashtag makers these days. So you have all kinds of jobs, and the beauty is because YouTube University is there. It doesn't matter where you come from, as long as you're willing to teach yourself various skills. So I understand sometimes you're not sure what you want to become, and that's also acceptable. In that instance, I'd like to request that do dabble in the thing that you are closest to. At least in that wrong path, you'll know what your heart wants. A lot of the times we don't start a lot of things thinking ye to galat hoga. I am saying do start. You will understand that okay, this is not I want, but through this I've understood that this is what I want to become. So there are no wrong paths in life's pursuit of leadership. There are paths which teach you more. That's all.
Ma'am, as you are celebrating Women's Day, what is your idea of feminism?
So Feminism again has been a word that's been thrown around too much. It's been hated, it's been loved. I think the modern feminism is just an idea to say let us be and leave us alone to do our thing. Don't tell us what we can and what we cannot do. And most importantly, please don't stop a girl's progress. And if you stop, then we are going to fight for it. And if that is feminism, then so be it.